bringing news from a different page. Truth served hot and bold and strong. Every week we sing along. Red, white, and true will stand tall. Echo the call loudest of all. With hearts of faith and liberty, together we find unity. Stories that make you think and pray. A light awaits at the end of day. Guided by the stars and stripes, through the stormiest of nights. Red, white, and true will stand tall. Echo the call loudest of all. With hearts of faith and liberty, together we find unity. When the world feels like a fight, hold your ground, stand for what's right. In the truth we'll find our way. Ed and Ronnie light the way. Red, white, and true will stand tall. Echo the call loudest of all. With hearts of faith and liberty, together we find unity. Red, white, and true will stand tall. Echo the call loudest of all. With hearts of faith and liberty, together we find unity. Together we find unity.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Red, White, and True with Ed and Ronnie, and the show starts right now.
And the show starts right now. Welcome to Red, White, and True with tonight, both Ed and Ronnie. What's up, Ronnie?
How we doing tonight? I'm doing good over here.
Boy, your voice, hopefully it hangs on for another hour here.
It comes and goes.
Is it one of those where you feel better than you sound?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't feel very good today. I've got a migraine for a couple of days, just won't go away.
Well, if you notice the picture that we have there, and not the background, of course the flag is the background, but the picture that we're highlighting there, Red, White, and True with Ed and Ronnie, honoring all who served. And so obviously today is 11/11/2025. Ronnie, 14 years ago today, I was honored to be able to speak to a group of people at the Washington Monument in Washington, D.C. One of the favorite things I've done in my entire life. And
that's awesome.
It was quite the honor. Let's make mention of something here. Folks that are in here that know our family, know that we've got some things going on. I wasn't able to be here last night. I tuned in a couple of times to listen to Ronnie, and I thought he was doing an amazing job with you know, I was going to say with what he had to work with, but tonight is more of what he has to work with. But he did a wonderful job, and we're so thankful to him for helping us out. I hesitate. I'm not sure. I didn't listen to what Ronnie said last night, but and whatever he said was okay. But I hesitate to go too far in with what's going on, other than Amy and her side of the family needs some prayers for comfort. And if you know, then you know. But let's go to the Lord in prayer right now. Father, as we come to you on this Veterans Day, we just thank you for all of those who raised their right hand, all of those who took that oath to protect this country against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. And while we have understood the foreign, Father, we have to look at the domestic now more than probably at any time in this country's history. So tonight, I lift the veterans up to you. I lift up our active duty military, all of their support systems, their families. And Father, just thank you for their willingness to serve, for those veterans, their willingness to have served in the past. And Father, I pray that Ronnie and I tonight will say and do the right thing. In Jesus' name, amen. Well, I just got in here just a little bit ago. And so I know Ronnie has quite a few videos. And so I'm going to let him take over for a few minutes as I try to download a thing or two. I'll be here listening, and if I have to, I'll speak up. I mean, me.
Speak up a little bit.
I'm shy, and yeah, right. Go ahead, Ronnie.
All right. So forgive me again for my voice. I've got a drink here. It's helping, but not much. So last night I showed the video about the drug representative that was in the White House that kind of collapsed.
For nearly 150 years, my company, Eli Lilly, has been investing in America. We've been advancing science and creating high-value jobs. But today, are you okay? Gordon, you okay? Yeah. Let's take a break.
Cameras, we're done holding cameras. Photographers, move.
And here's what President Donald Trump had to say about that. They asked him about it today.
Well, thank you very much. One of the representatives of the companies, said one of the companies got a little bit lightheaded. You saw he went down, and he's fine. They just sent him out. He's got doctor's care, but he's fine. So we had a little bit of an interruption. Sorry for that. And I think we can just begin again with Eli Lilly.
So we hope that gentleman is okay. And, I'm sure it's an embarrassing thing to be in front of the White House, in the White House in the Oval Office with President Trump and all that and all the reporters, and then have some kind of medical issue. But a little heartwarming story here. Donald Trump was walking through somewhere and gave a young boy a challenge coin. I thought that was pretty cool. I know if I was that kid, I'd probably be wetting my pants to come across Donald Trump, and then he gives me a challenge coin. That's pretty cool. Also, while Ed's still doing his thing, the Marine Corps had their ball, and for the first time, Vice President was there because he's a Marine.
And I'm so proud to be here. I'm so proud to be the first Vice President of the United States to have been a United States Marine.
Going to embarrass my friend a little bit. And of course, you all know that, when you get around soldiers and sailors and airmen, we like to poke fun at each other. And I was talking to an Army colonel in the White House not too long ago. And I said, Colonel, you know what they call a soldier with an IQ of 80? And he said, what, sir? And I said, they call him a colonel. And he chuckled. And then he said, you know what they call a Marine with an IQ of 60? I said, what's that, Colonel? He said, the Vice President of the United States. And guess what, Colonel? I've got the last laugh because your ass is going to Siberia on diplomatic duty. So I hope you had your fun in the West Wing, but unfortunately, I get the final say. That's one of the good things about this job.
I thought that was funny. Your ass going to Siberia. And here's the Marine Corps ball cake. It's kind of weird to say ball cake, but.
As is our custom, a piece of cake has been presented to our guest of honor, Vice President J.D. Vance. Vice President J.D. Vance will now present the piece of cake to the oldest Marine in attendance as a sign of honor and respect accorded to experience and seniority. Our oldest Marine this evening was born on 26 April 1926 in Brooklyn, New York, and enlisted in the Marine Corps in 1944.
All right, that's pretty cool, I think. What did you think there, Pastor Ed?
This time of year around Veterans Day, and I'm almost like a little kid, not in that I'm excited for myself, but I just love seeing all the different, in the military, we like to joke with the other services.
Tease back and forth.
Other branches, we call Marines jarheads and flyboys and, all the different things. But, I just love watching. And I'll talk more about that later. But, you got to give the Marines credit. They do have the best uniforms. I hate to say
I agree.
I hate to say that.
Well, I got a couple other smaller things while you're still doing stuff. So we talked last night about the $2,000 dividend, and here's Donald Trump again.
And one of the things we're going to do, we're going to issue a dividend to our middle income people and lower income people of about $2,000. And we're going to use the remaining tariffs to lower our debt. We're going to be lowering our debt, which is a national security thing.
And then, of course, and I don't know why I didn't start off with this, but we talked last night about the shutdown. Still had some more votes to go. It got through. So here we go.
On this vote, the ayes are 60, the nays are 40. The bill as amended is passed. Under the previous order, the motion to reconsider is considered made and laid upon the table.
I am very, very happy to be able to say that we are coming to the end. And before we close today, I want to take the time to say thank you to my staff who have worked around the clock tirelessly now for the past 6 weeks, to the staff of the Appropriations Committee who have played a critical role in getting us to where we are here today, to the cloakroom staff, to every Senate staffer on both sides of the aisle who has spent 41 days coming into work without pay, to custodial staff who, again, without pay, have kept this building and the Senate office buildings livable, to all the institutional staff without whom this place would not run, to the Secretary of the Senate and everyone in her office, the Sergeant at Arms and her team, and the architect of the Capitol and his staff, and everyone on the floor right now making this session happen.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to announce that it's over with. Thank the
Now
Lord.
I'm going to rain on the parade a little bit.
Yeah, it's not yet. It's still coming though, right? Is that what you're getting ready to do?
Well, I was just going to say it is possible. I can't imagine how it would ever happen, but it is possible that when the House comes back, they have to vote on it's not the same clean CR because they added some, they use these bus terms, omnibus. This one is a minibus. And I don't know if that's like the short bus,
Short
for
bus.
school. I'm not sure. But there are actually three things that are attached. It's called a clean CR with I don't know what the proper term is, but there are three things attached. One is funding the military for a year. One is funding the Department of Agriculture for a year. And the other one, I think, may have to do with transportation. But there's three. And so technically, the House could not pass that through.
Yeah.
That would be like the worst political suicide in the history of politics for the House not to vote that through. Now, what I think you're going to see is most Democrats are going to vote against, just like most Democrats were in the 40 of the 60-40. But I do believe that there will be Democrats that cross the aisle and vote for this. I hope and pray all Republicans, because the only way that really this is going to fail in the House would be every Democrat voted against. And then I think it only takes 2 or 3 Republicans that would vote against, and because they only have, a couple more than the Democrats have. So, can you imagine the political suicide if against the people who in the House that would vote against this?
It's
because, as Ronnie said, it's done. We've got one more hoop to jump through. And ironically, it may get delayed because getting all of the people that serve in the House of Representatives back to DC could be a problem with what's going on with the air traffic.
Right.
So, I would certainly think that they could pull some strings and make sure they get there, but it's possible that it could have to wait an extra day. And then you factor in, hoping and praying that this second vote with the House goes like it should. There's some things that will take more than just snapping the fingers and saying we're back open.
It's just the biggest hurdle we've gone over. There's still more to go. It's not like everybody's getting paid tomorrow. It's not like SNAP benefits are coming back on tomorrow. It's just we made it over that first mountain.
Well, and you're exactly right. Is the biggest hurdle has been jumped over. That hoop is already jumped through and behind us, and you can't go back on that. Until the Senate did what they did. Well, the House has been out of session for what, 6 weeks?
Yes.
Almost 2 months. And we could have discussion about that, but that's another time. And, something, before you go any further, we continue to grow our audience.
Yes.
It's amazing who watches Ed and Ronnie.
Hey there, yeah, I'm talking to you. Name's Clyde. I'm a Cardinal, obviously, but here's the thing. I am absolutely hooked on Ed and Ronnie's live streams. Can't help it. Every Tuesday, I plop down in this nest, seeds on standby, and tune in. They bring the truth like a tailwind.
I love that.
Oh, and if you paid close attention, I've been wanting to give a shout out. As most of you know, I've been unable to spend very much time yesterday and today on what we do here. And our good friend, and I say our because, Ronnie's getting to know him more every single day.
Yes.
But you could see that graphic, and let's play it again real quick.
Hey there, yeah, I'm talking to you. Name's Clyde. I'm a Cardinal, obviously, but here's the thing. I am absolutely hooked on Ed and Ronnie's live streams. Can't help it. Every Tuesday, I plop down in this nest, seeds on standby, and tune in. They bring the truth like a tailwind.
So I don't know if you could see my cursor there, but I was circling where, right by the jersey, it said Trevor Decker. And he has worked tirelessly in helping Ronnie get things, giving us information, and it's a great time to give him a big shout out right now.
A lot of good stuff in the works thanks to him. So
well, my the pastor's pulpit section, and normally I would put up that graphic, but I'm going to go back to the red, white, and true honoring veteran graphic. And you may have to, because there it is.
Yep.
I got it. I wanted to talk, I've got one planned that I would have used tonight had it not been Veterans Day. I'm really bothered by the topic of Islamic radicalism, and it seems like we've kind of forgotten all about that. And so that'll probably be my next
week or tomorrow.
Let's go ahead and talk about that real quick before we get into my pastor's pulpit. I think the best decision, and I apologize to Ronnie right now because we've barely had a chance to talk about anything, but I think the best decision for tomorrow is to let that go and get back on schedule next week.
I agree.
So many uncertainties here at the house right now and at CRH that we need to probably take care of some other business. Not probably, we do need to take care of some other business.
Definitely need to.
And so, we started the 3 nights last week, and boy, they were all goofed up, and not in a bad way. We had the election, and then we had our anniversary, and was thinking that this week would kind of settle us down into the schedule, but then this situation came up. So no Red, White, and True with Ed and Ronnie tomorrow night. We will be back prayerfully on a regular schedule next week. Ronnie taking the lead on Monday, together like we are right now on Tuesday, and me taking the lead on Wednesday. So that's that. Now, on to the pastor's pulpit, and you know that I'm a veteran, and veterans are near and dear to my heart. And sometimes I feel a little awkward about that because I love to prop up other veterans. And when I do, I always worry that somebody might think I'm trying to prop myself up. And I promise you, that is never the case when I brag about veterans. I love veterans. Some of my favorite people in the world were World War II veterans. They were the greatest generation for a reason. Another thing near and dear to my heart are Vietnam veterans. And that's not putting a downward trajectory on the Korean veterans. So please, if you're a Korean veteran, know that I love you and your service was just as good as anybody else's. But I have a special heart for Vietnam veterans because when the WW2 veterans and their families, they got ticker tape parades and all kind of things. And you guys got spit on. You guys had to change out of your uniforms before you got off the plane so that people wouldn't spit on you in the airports. And many of you did get spit on at the airports. So I've got a really, really soft spot in my heart for those veterans. I was a part of 3 different Veterans Day services programs, however you want to call it. I'm a preacher. Most things are a service to me. At 8:10 this morning, I was at Lincoln Elementary School in Columbus, Indiana, and most every year I've been there since my grandkids have been there, and they do about a half-hour tribute to veterans. And once again, I was able to be a part of that at Lincoln. Then at 9 o'clock, another grandchild was at Richards, and oh, there is a picture. I was wondering earlier if we got that. That is Alice, and you've seen Alice on here a time or two. She's in the background there. Her and I, as we finished the program there at Richards Elementary. So, and the good Lord worked it out for us because I was worried to death. I got invitations from 2 grandkids, another invitation from Alice, and I'm thinking, oh man, what if they're all at the exact same time? But 8, 10, and 9 o'clock, just enough time for me to rush across town and get to both of them. So then at 2:30 this afternoon, normally for Veterans Day, normally for Memorial Day, one of the local nursing homes, which is basically used for Alzheimer and dementia patients. Most all of the people that are in this particular nursing home suffer from one of those 2 things. And for years, I've been asked to come and do one or both of the special events during the year, Memorial Day and Veterans Day. And this year, there were only 5 veterans there. I made 6, and they always make sure that they include me, and that's a very nice thing that they do. But you know, one of the things I think about is those guys. Rarely has there been females. I don't know if there ever has been one when I did this service. So when I say the guys, it could be guys and gals, obviously, but probably 15 minutes for sure, probably by the next day, they're not going to remember that I was there. But for that half hour that I'm there and doing that program, out of the 5 guys today, 4 of them were bright and alert and beaming when you talk about their time in the service. You can tell jokes about the different, I joked with a Navy guy today. And so that is always one of the highlights for me of Veterans Day. So as a part of 3 different ceremonies, services, whatever you want to call them. And one of the things I did at the nursing home was I told them that we all had something in common other than just being a veteran. And that was that every one of us veterans there raised our right hand and made this oath. And I'm going to raise my hand right here. I, Ed Boston, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States and the orders of the officers appointed. We all started our military careers with our hands raised and giving that oath. And I believe that just about any veteran that you would talk to would say that that oath is still in effect. There is no ending to that oath that we took. More of what that oath meant was you were willing to leave home and family. You said, if my country needs me, I will go. And that still matters. And it matters today. Not just because it's Veterans Day, but it still matters today. You see, they say that one reason that our country has never been invaded by a foreign army is because of the number of weapons that we have in homes around the country. We basically have an army of people. And I like to think that veterans are a huge part of that group of people who would never, ever, ever not defend our homeland. We also remember those that didn't come home. Today we celebrate veterans, but in May we celebrate Memorial Day. They gave the ultimate sacrifice. They didn't come home when we did. So to all the men and women whose loved ones didn't come home, we pray that you have wonderful memories and that our country will remember that that service was important, that we won't give up the United States. We won't give in to people that want to take us over. We gave that oath that says enemies, both foreign and domestic. It's kind of scary, really, because we know when a foreign country doesn't like us. We know when they potentially have a beef with us. But sometimes those domestic things, they just kind of creep in and a little by little, and then you end up with a socialist as the mayor of our biggest city. So it does matter. We may feel divided. We have different views. We have different voices. But days like this ought to bring us back to a simple truth. Freedom is not free. Real courage still exists. Honor is not an old word. You know, I've seen things like respect and honor and several other words. This does my heart so good. At Lincoln, this little first grade girl, the first graders all wrote letters to a veteran, not a specific veteran, but to a veteran. And it was a boy that wrote mine, and they were all different people were handing them out. They weren't just handing out their own. So this little girl handed it to me, and it said, you know, the things that you would expect. And then at the end of it, it says, you are responsible. And responsible was one of the words that both places I was at today used when they described veterans. And so it said, you are responsible. And that just touches my heart. You know, I get these things on a regular basis. I get things not about veterans from church. I can't bring myself to throw them in the trash. They're so mean. I got stacks of these things because it's so important that we teach our young people. I'm so happy when I'm able to hear that an elementary school or wherever is teaching our kids about veterans and about what the sacrifices were for our country. Veterans, as a pastor, I speak a blessing over you tonight. I pray that your life is the best that it can be. For those that might be thinking about harming yourself, you don't have to do that. We've got a God in heaven that loves you so much that he sent his son to die to be our sacrifice. You know about what this means. Greater love has no man than this, that they would give their life for another. Jesus Christ gave his life for another. And maybe some of your brothers and your sisters in arms gave their life. Let's make that mean something. You need to be here with us. This world needs you. And if you have an issue, there are numbers that you can call and get help. Please don't do something that's irreversible. You are loved, brother. You are loved, sister. Your story matters. Your service still matters. The final thing that I want to mention, the memories, the sacrifice, the worthiness, you can continue to carry that forward by standing for what's right and doing the right thing. Thank you, veterans. Thank you for your service. Welcome home, and God bless you. Right now, we're going to play the Armed Forces medley. And let me get to where I can see things. Bring Ronnie back in here. Did you download, is that U.S. military song? Is that what we got sent to us, or no? Or you don't know?
Yeah, I didn't download that, so I don't know. Is that the one?
Well, let me see.
Trevor sent?
It may not play. If it doesn't, I was ready with the backup. right. Well, we
Love
do
that.
honor all who served. And Ronnie, we heard that earlier today. Now,
We sure
you
did.
don't know this because we haven't had a chance to talk. That was the first elementary uh, tribute to veterans where the students actually sing the songs. Normally, everybody plays a video like somewhat similar to what we just played right there. But today, the students sang
Really?
the armed.
I do have a clip of that if you wouldn't mind.
Sure.
I'm a
I
proud
didn't know
daddy,
you.
if you couldn't tell.
Yeah, I can't. I didn't know you got that. That's awesome.
Yes.
I'm glad we got a chance to share it. But like I said, every other one that I've been to, every one that I've done myself, have always used a video. And they actually have videos now that have the Space Force song in it.
Really?
I've not heard that, but I saw it when I was looking for things. And in the description, it says, including the Space Force. I left that up that Bill and Tanya put in there, Semper Fi, to make sure I remembered they have a Marine in their family. I don't know if Beth is still in here or if she is not in here right now, but her husband was a Marine. And I say, only reason I say was because once a Marine, always a Marine, but Beth's husband has passed. Trust me, it's once in the military, always in the military. But boy, the Marines preach that. Once a Marine, always a Marine. And it's pretty special. It's pretty
Yes.
special. I got a funny story to tell. I don't know if you know this story or not, but several years ago when Caden was at Schmidt Elementary, so he graduated last year, so it's been a few years. And it come time and they played the Armed Forces medley, and they actually had a stop in between each of the services. And all I've ever known is when you hear the Armed Forces medley, if you're in the Army, you stand up and you clap.
Yes.
And so I stood up and I clapped, and then that made other people clap, and the whole place was clapping, and the music director did not plan on that being the case. And so then he turns around before they played the next branch and said, while the clapping is nice, let's not do that for the rest of the songs.
Are you serious?
Oh, snap. I done got in trouble.
Wow.
I didn't care. I mean, that's just what you do.
That's just what you do, right?
I mean, yeah, that's just what you do. So let's roll on, Ronnie.
Well, I've got my segment, and it is Veterans Day coming from not being a veteran, my point of view on it. So I did not have the opportunity to serve, the honor to serve. I wanted to. I had my ex-wife was pregnant with my oldest daughter at the time, and then I broke my leg, became a liability, got a metal plate and 9 screws. So, every year on Veterans Day, I stop and I think about what the men and women who put it all on the line, not for fame or fortune, but for something bigger for America. Now, I didn't serve. I didn't wear the uniform. I did playing paintball, but that's not the same thing. And that's something I think about a lot because I know my freedom wasn't free, that somebody else had to pay that price for me. Soldiers, sailors, Marines, airmen, and now the Space Force Guardians They all stood in the gap. They left their families, their comfort, their salary, so the rest of us could live under the banner of liberty. And the truth is, the best way we can honor them isn't just one day a year. It's all in how we live, by being the kind of citizens worth fighting for, and people who protect our communities, raise our kids' rights, and stand up for what's true and right, even when it's hard, and doing the right thing. Thank you, Alice. You don't need to serve in the military to serve your country. You can serve with your voice, with your faith, with your hands, and with your heart. So today, with those of us who didn't have the privilege or honor to serve, and for those who did, we say thank you. Remember your sacrifice. We honor your courage, because without you, there is no America. And as long as we breathe free, we will never forget the ones who made it possible. So that's it. That's what I got.
We have a few news items for tonight. I had actually, Ronnie's going to be the only one that understands this, so I'll make it quick. I was actually on the studio from last night, and I was typing in the banner. Well, it didn't save when I came to over here. I'm like, I look up and it says this episode is over, and I'm like, this episode is over. It says 11:10, and I thought, oh, because I booked out of here after setting the show up yesterday, and it was still right there, even though, it was done. So now back on to what we have for
the news stories, the headline news.
Yeah, headline news or news.
All right. I'll go first. A Blue City Police Department searched for a suspect after an unprovoked stabbing at a college train stop. Chicago police are on the manhunt for a man who they say stabbed a woman in the chest without provocation on a train station platform Saturday night. The victim, a 27-year-old woman, was sitting on a bench when he allegedly approached her and plunged his knife into her chest. The attack echoes the unprovoked stabbing of Arena. Forgive me, I can't say the last name. Remember the stabbing?
Yes, I wasn't sure you were finished. I didn't want to step on you there.
Yeah, no, I got, that's all I had.
All right. My first one, I had two that Ronnie sent me. He helped me out big time today too. I have his two, but I added one to it, and it went with Veterans Day. Trump lays wreath at Tomb of the Unknown Soldier at Arlington National Cemetery on Veterans Day. Editorializing here a little bit, that is one of my favorite places on the planet, is Arlington Cemetery. If you've not been and you get the opportunity, please take advantage of that. I promise you will not be disappointed. But President Donald Trump participated in a wreath-laying ceremony Tuesday at Arlington National Cemetery to commemorate Veterans Day and honor the nation's fallen service members as well. He was joined by Vice President J.D. Vance and Veterans Affairs Secretary Doug Collins. A few of the words that Trump spoke this morning on these hallowed grounds, where generations of American heroes rest in eternal glory, we gather to fulfill the sacred duty of every free man and woman. On Veterans Day, we honor those who have worn the uniform, who have borne the battle, who have stood to watch, and whose ranks have formed the mighty wall of flesh and blood, bravery and devotion that has defended our freedom for 250 years. Ronnie?
And I actually have a video of that. I've been there too. When I was in 8th grade, we saw the changing of the guard. It's awesome. It is so cool.
You know, it would be maybe or maybe not. I know you have, Ronnie, but if you've seen videos of people acting up there.
Oh, yes.
I am so glad that that has never happened when I'm there.
Yes.
It would be very, very difficult to not act out against someone who was showing themselves at Arlington.
Yeah. I've seen people sitting. I've seen people talking. I've seen people arguing. It's crazy.
Yeah. So.
And those guards snap on them too.
If they have to say something, the person knows it. There's no doubt about it.
The person
All right,
and everybody else there.
Yes.
All right, my next story, Wendy's. Who's fans of Wendy's? To close hundreds of U.S. stores next year. The fast food chain reports sales down 4.7% at many U.S. locations as customers cut discretionary spending. This comes as Wendy's executives said that its business and sales to, quote, remain under pressure and that it is, quote, acting with urgency to return sales to its stores growth. So that sucks. I like Wendy's. I'm a fan.
Well, we've got 2 of them here, so maybe we'll at least get to keep one.
Absolutely.
It would be really bad if they closed the one that they just rebuilt.
Yeah, they just built a few years ago. Yeah, for sure.
5 MS-13 gang members found guilty in a string of gruesome California killings, bodies dumped off cliffs. It's the kind of people we want in the United States.
Right?
Imagine that.
Right.
These were in California. Imagine that. Gavin Newsom runs California.
Yeah. Why would there be MS-13 gang members in California? Who knows? So I got a couple videos to go with this. U.S. Berkeley chaos outside TPUSA gathering ends in multiple arrests as conservative event runs smoothly.
Yeah, news more alive here than Charlie Kirk. You're a hero, my man.
Crazy how people are acting nowadays.
And that was at the TPUSA event?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, I've seen the headline, but I never have. Something that just said I didn't want to click on that, so I haven't until now. And those are such nice guys and gals that were there.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's who we want running our country in the future.
Great people.
Yeah, my final headline has to do with The View. We don't normally give them a whole lot of press, but sometimes they just deserve it when they confront a sitting Senator Fetterman from Pennsylvania about his shutdown stance. He voted to reopen the government every single time that the vote was taken. Says he brought a butter knife to a gunfight. Boy, those are tough women.
I actually heard when they announced that he was there that he was booed, as a matter of fact.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. You know, what good conservative would want to go sit in the audience at The View?
The View, right?
So, that's not totally surprising. And I didn't see if he wore a sweatshirt or not.
His hoodie and shorts.
Yeah. I didn't see if he fought back, if he put them in their place, or, I'm going to tell you, if you want to know, Google it.
Right. Pretty much.
Yeah. And do you have one more, or was that it?
I do not have any more. That was it.
Well, shoot that that video back up. The introduction video of that.
Okay, doke. Let me go back to. Oh no, it's locked again. You're gonna have to do it.
Oh well, maybe I can find it.
I'm locked again for some reason.
I'm not sure which one it is. I didn't have it ready to.
It was like the 8-second one.
Oh, okay. Maybe no, that's the outro. There.
There we go. Yeah, I'm locked.
There we go.
I don't know why. I've only got certain ones, and this one talking about the liberals booing Fetterman and all that.
What do we want?
We don't know.
When do we want it?
Also unclear.
Why do we want it?
Because it was forwarded to us in an email, so it must be true. Yeah!
Since we're kind of making fun of liberals, it's probably time to play this.
Donald Trump is a criminal who was found guilty of 34 felony counts of fraud.
You know,
What do you know? It's the airhead of Congress, AOC.
I've been waiting to sneak that one in.
Well, you know who has really been after her is Senator Kennedy. And I'm looking forward to some of those battles. I think I read today, and I need to, it's red, white, and true, and we try not to do red, white, and assume. And seeing as how we live in a day and time where you've got to verify every single thing to know that it's true. But I read that he was either a first sergeant or a sergeant major in the military.
Really? I did not know that.
You got something, and I'll check that out.
So like Ed said, we're not red, white, and assume, we're red, white, and true. But have you noticed, and think about it, look up in the sky one day and see a bunch of trails from airplanes. Now, there's contrails that, like high-speed airplanes are up really high that come off. It's just water vapor. It dissipates. But chemtrails are something different. And it's been talked about for years. I'm kind of on the fence.
What are these lines in the sky that we have all seen?
There's sprayed particulate dispersion. Bottom line is, when we have up-close film footage of these aircraft at altitude with nozzles visible turning dispersions on and off, this is not, quote, condensation. Geoengineeringwatch.org is the only entity to sample what these heavy aircraft are emitting at altitude. We found exactly what we knew we would find, starting with aluminum nanoparticles. Bioavailable freeform aluminum is toxic to all life, period. That element is named in numerous climate engineering patents as part of a geoengineering dispersion element. This elephant in the sky that we are told is a conspiracy theory is exactly what the entire global climate science community says we need to deploy immediately to slow down the warming of the planet.
So they're saying by doing that, it's slowing down the global warming of the planet. It's keeping things cooler. But I've noticed that if you see a bunch of streaks in the sky, give it a day or two, and we'll have rain. It's almost like the old axiom that if the cows are laying down in the field, which from driving in the county, if cows are laying down in the field, it's going to rain. And I've seen that a couple of times. So did you find anything yet?
Well, I have not. Everything that I look for points to President John Kennedy, and I'm on his website now, but he is not a braggart, so it's not.
So he's not a tampon Tim about carrying weapons of mass destruction in combat with men that never happened.
Tampon Tim. Oh, he'll always be in the news, and
yes,
not for good.
The right thing.
We will find that out, and we will let you know, because again, we are red, white, and true, not red, white, and assume.
I do have another video. I don't know if you watched this last night, but it's about Sydney Sweeney. But watch her reaction to this reporter.
There's something that you want to say about the ad itself. The Sydney Sweeney has great genes. Do you have...
The ad spoke for itself.
You think the ad spoke for itself?
Yeah.
Okay. And the criticism of the content, which was basically that maybe specifically in this political climate, like, white people shouldn't joke about genetic superiority. Like, that was kind of like the criticism, broadly speaking. And since you are talking about this, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about that specifically.
I think that when I have an issue that I want to speak about, people will hear.
Did you see the blue jean ads with Sydney Sweeney?
The ones that were out a while back.
Yeah.
I know that I saw one of them. I don't
Did
know how
anywhere
many there were.
speak about white people having genetic superiority?
No, I'm trying to figure out how that even gets in the equation.
Yeah.
Other than she's a white person, and she had on jeans,
and she has great genes. At no point did it say white people have genetic superiority.
No. Nor was it inferred.
No. I don't even know where to begin with that. I honestly don't. To me, it's liberals, or it's somebody trying to pick a fight. You know the guys that play the devil's advocate, and no matter what you say, they want to take the opposite reaction so that way they can start a fight. And that's to me, that's what that reporter's trying to do. She's trying to egg on a fight, pick on something, push something that's not there. And it's so aggravating. So very aggravating. I do have a video on a cruise ship death. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm still searching, so
okay.
Good time to play that video.
It's kind of weird. It's a death on a cruise ship.
Breaking news, an 18-year-old has mysteriously died while on a Carnival cruise ship. Here's everything you need to know. 18-year-old Anna was on the cruise ship traveling from Miami to the Caribbean when she passed away on Saturday. However, authorities have not released the exact circumstances surrounding her passing. At this time, the FBI is now investigating. It is more than likely the FBI is investigating because it occurred on international waters. The ship then returned to Miami on Saturday. Carnival cruise ship said, quote, "Our focus is on supporting the family of our guest and cooperating with the FBI." At this time, authorities have not confirmed the nature of the investigation nor the cause or date of her passing. However, some inside sources are claiming that it occurred on the 8th floor and that she was wrapped in a sheet and found underneath her bed. There was initial reports that she was 16 years old. However, her family has confirmed that she is in fact 18. They also hope she will be remembered for her generosity and that she was deeply involved in volunteering in her grandparents' 55 and older neighborhood. She also was known for helping out local businesses in her hometown of Titusville, Florida. As previously mentioned, authorities have not yet confirmed how her passing occurred. To stay up to date on this case, make sure you click the playlist below.
Just weird that the death on that cruise ship and that the FBI are investigating, and then the 4 deaths at Disneyland, the 300 bodies they pulled out of bayous in Texas. I'm sorry, the 100 and some bodies, and then the 300 bodies they pulled out of the desert in Las Vegas. Craziness going on.
You find those crazy things, Ronnie.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, it comes up whenever I pull up in MSN or something like that, and apparently, like my mother, I attract craziness.
Well, I was actually going to say, you're in the upstairs of our house, and hopefully those crazies stay on the other side of the door. Well,
right.
It would be really bad if they didn't. I know.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. I believe that I can safely say that Senator Kennedy was not in the military. So, as usually it's Ronnie on this, it's not red, white, and assume. And I'm glad I researched it, or else I would have had to come back at a later time. Because if we make mistakes, we correct them.
Right. Yep.
And I just got one more thought, and I haven't planned on anything, but I've been watching Hakeem Jeffries a lot lately, and not on purpose, I promise you. But his head just seems to keep popping up, and I'm just going to tell you, I don't like that guy.
I don't either.
I don't like him. He doesn't seem like he really knows a whole lot, but he tries to act like he knows a whole lot. And all of a sudden, he's become Billy Bad Boy and started to talk smack. And, you know, they need to get somebody else to do that because he just ain't good at it. You know, Pelosi and all of the faults that she had, I mean, at least when she talked smack, she was somewhat believable. I mean, they were all lies, but she made it sound like, you know, maybe something was true in there. You look at him and you listen to him, and yeah. So
yeah,
that's the last thing I have. You got anything else?
I do not. Nothing pressing, nothing urgent, nothing that needs to go out now. So.
Oh man, I'm missing comments over here.
Hakeem is a Obama wannabe. I've actually heard him be called the Timu Obama.
Well, Timu Obama. Speaking of Obama, I heard, and actually not heard, I read an article that there was an honor flight from Wisconsin. It was on the ground in DC, getting ready to disembark from the airplane to go on their tours. And Barack Obama went on board and actually said some very nice things to veterans.
Really? Wow.
It had a picture of the fuselage and down through the aisle and everything, and it was all in red, white, and blue, not red, white, and true. I almost said it was all in red, white, and true. And he actually was up where the stewardesses, you know, speak to the passengers, and it was Barack Obama. So
nice.
You know, it was nice, and I'll give credit where credit is due. Dollar Tree Obama. Oh, we can only hope that someone like him wins the Democrat nomination for 2028.
Right.
Maybe it'll be two New Yorkers.
Unfortunately, though, I think it's going to be, yeah, that wouldn't be bad. Could be much worse than Mom Downey, but hey, whatever. We're not going to go there today.
Well, yeah, we've got plenty to say about that, and we've got plenty of time to do it because I'm assuming they have 4-year terms. So, well, say goodnight, Ronnie.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for bearing with my raspy voice and the short episode yesterday, but love seeing everybody here.
Ronnie, I want you to know how much I appreciate you and how you just jump right in, and you do such a great job on Red, White, and True. And
well, thank you very much.
You mean the world.
I just try to do the right thing.
Oh.
Even Ellis got that one.
If you missed it earlier, we are not going to go live tomorrow night. We've got a family situation that needs our attention. As a matter of fact, Ronnie is getting ready to leave and go see where his mama is at. And when he comes back, I'll go and just say a prayer for his mama, my beautiful wife, and all of her family. Until we see you next Monday, or sooner if something goes on, go out and do the right thing.
Thank you for joining us for today's live stream. This has been a presentation of Ed Boston Media.